Hi, today we're gonna be making costillas and salsa chipotle. And what I have here are 5 Roma tomatoes, a quarter of an onion, 1 garlic, 5 bay leaves, and a can of chipotle peppers and adobo. And I also have 2.5 pounds of spare ribs cut up, and that's what we'll be using. So the first thing we're gonna do is start frying up our ribs in a pan big enough for them not to be like crowded. And we're not gonna add no oil to the pan, just put the ribs in there. I have my ribs in the pan already. I didn't add no oil. I generously salted and peppered them. I have this on medium high, and we'll be having the lid on for 10-15 minutes, flipping them halfway through. And when we put the lid on, we can go ahead and start boiling our tomatoes. We'll boil tomatoes for about 10-15 minutes as well. In about 7 minutes, and I'm starting to turn them over. You want to just give them a turn. And they start letting out their own fat. That's the reason why we don't add oil, because the fat starts coming out on its own. You want them to crisp up. And then we'll pop the lid back on and leave it on for another 5-7 minutes. Keep an eye on it. We don't want them to burn. Well, I have my tomatoes and the onion and garlic inside my blender. And the chipotle peppers, I mean, if you just want it to give it flavor, you could add 1 or 2. And if you want it spicy, you could add like about half of the can or more. It just depends on you. And here in my house, we like our food spicy, so I'm gonna add the whole can and then just blend it. And when you're done blending it, we're gonna go ahead and pour it over our ribs that are frying. So my ribs have been cooking for about 7 minutes after I turned them around, and I gave them another turn. You can go ahead and add the bay leaves in there, and we're gonna go ahead and pour our sauce. And we're going to give that a stir. And go ahead and turn your stove down to medium. It smells really good. And those bay leaves are going to give a really good flavor to the sauce. If you don't like your sauce too thick, you can go ahead and add half a cup of water. I'll probably end up doing that just so that it could be a little more saucy. And then we're going to cover it for 10 to 15 minutes. And before you cover it, go ahead and add a little bit of salt. And we'll taste it when we open it again. Okay, so I added the salt and I'm going to cover it. And I'm actually going to leave it covered on medium high. So you want to turn it back up to high. And leave it covered for 15 minutes. And just keep checking it to make sure it's not sticking. This has been cooking on medium high for 20 minutes, and I did add that half a cup of water before I put the lid on the last time. So as it cooks, I mean, the water reduces, so it won't be too watery, so don't worry about that. And I tasted of salt, and I added more salt, and I'm gonna close the lid for another 20 minutes, and I'm gonna put it down on medium, because what we want is for this meat to get really tender where it'll fall off the bone. So put the lid on, put your timer on 20 minutes, and just keep checking it. Okay, so it's been cooking for another 20 minutes, and I'm gonna turn it off already. So you see how much the water has reduced, so I'm gonna go ahead and plate this. Well, here's my finished product. The sauce came out excellent. The meat's really tender. And I hope you guys enjoy and try this one out. If you have any questions, just comment down below and I'll be sure to get back to you. Thank you.